want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation, and welcome to another episode of Russ's Rant and the Tar Heel Mobile. And in this episode, I want to talk about a couple of things. The first thing is, well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get on the road real quick, man. Go ahead and put the seatbelt on, buckle up for safety. Now let's get on the road, man. Let's have a little talk. Let's do a little rant real quick. So, first thing I want to talk about, man, is what it's like to be a Carolina fan, a Carolina football fan, and what so many people say is a basketball school. So, you know, being a Tar Heel fan, like I said, 2.5 decades worth of rooting for the Heels and being just a diehard North Carolina football fan, one of the things that I can't stand when we get around this time of year, doesn't matter if the Heels are doing well, doesn't matter if the Heels are not doing well, you hear the same old from Carolina fans, and that's, it's basketball season. And you know what, man? I can't stinking stand that. I can't stand it. Now listen, I'm just as much of a UNC basketball fan as anyone, and you're going to see a lot of Carolina basketball content coming out here soon as basketball season ramps up. But make no mistake, Tar Heel Nation, it is still football season, and that should be the majority of all of our focus, our time, our energy, etc., etc. The North Carolina Tar Heels do not play a basketball game until the beginning of November. I think their exhibition game is, what is it, October 26th, October 27th against St. Augustine's. So we have plenty of time for that. I mean, basketball season is from October, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, and if we're lucky, April, right? So I have plenty of time for basketball season. And when Carolina fans start talking about, oh, it's basketball season, woo, it's basketball season. Hey, listen, this is where you need to work on trying to be cockeyed, if you will. You need one eye on the football team, and you need one eye on the basketball team. All right? But even so, that's not for a month and a half away. And you already hear it and see it inside the message boards and everything. Everybody getting all stinking googly-eyed about basketball. And it's just like, bro, what in the world? We're 4-0. The first time since 1997. And people are already kind of just like, it just seems like, their attention is just like a I don't know, what are those things called, man, that fly into the things that zap them? A bug zapper? It's like, I can't look away. It's like, bro, it's football season. The Heels are 4-0. And a lot of people think, they have a great shot of going to the ACC championship game. And so slow your roll with basketball season, man. Good night. And if you're one of those people, hey, I love you, bro. All right? I get it. I understand. I know that it's what your buddy's doing beside you too, and you can't help but just kind of, go with the flow, because unfortunately that's just, the history of our fan base for all intents and purposes. Somebody corrected me on that. I actually made that adjustment real quick. That's pretty exciting. But the point of this whole charade right here is that it's football season, man. Don't forget that it's football season. Don't forget about the damn football team. The boys are balling. They're playing good, and that should be the main focus of Carolina Tar Heel Nation, man. That should be the main focus. The first game is not until the beginning of November against Radford. I'm pretty sure it's like November 6th or November 7th or something like that. So just pump your brakes, man, on the basketball thing. It'll come, okay? And November is going to be a stinking crazy time because we got basketball gearing up, and we got football, and, that's going to be a pivotal time for the football team. So this is what I'm asking of you, Tar Heel Nation. Do your best. Do your absolute best to be cockeyed, okay? And just keep your focus on both of these programs when the time comes. But right now, both of your eyes should solely be on the football team. All right, support these guys, man. This is going to be a special year, and they need our support. So don't be getting all stinking sidetracked, with all this other mumbo-jumbo, man. That time will come. We got plenty of time for it. It's football season. And I think that's going to be the title of this Russ's Rant, is it's football season in Carolina. All right, let's not forget about that. Now, as I sit here and rant about people talking about basketball season and football season, I will go ahead and segue into just a little rant about basketball. Like I said, we're trying to stay cockeyed here, okay? And that is that, obviously the schedule just came out for the men's basketball team. And that's what I'm going to be focused on, is the men's basketball team. And I think that one of the interesting things, and I'll talk about this when I do my my men's basketball preview release. I still don't know exactly when that's going to be out. I want it to be a really good product, so it may take me some time. And like I said, we have plenty of time. But one of the interesting things about the ACC releasing the basketball schedule is that on December 2nd, during the ACC championship game, the football game, ACC championship game, they decided to have Florida State and North Carolina play, which I think is absolutely ridiculous because half of everyone thinks that it's going to be Florida State and North Carolina in the ACC championship game for football. So why in the world the ACC would schedule that game, or games in general, on that day, when you're going to be basically stealing from your own, what's the word I'm looking for, TV ratings. It doesn't matter if they're at separate times or not. Obviously, I would hope that if the Heels go to the ACC championship game in football, that the ACC North Carolina Florida State game, which Florida State's going to be terrible again, is not going to dissuade the Carolina faithful from tuning into the football championship. I mean, good night. If that's you, fix yourself. But why in the world would you schedule those two events? Obviously, the football game, the ACC championship game, has been scheduled. Why would you schedule those on the same day? I just think that that's absolutely ridiculous. There's some kind of miscommunication up there in Charlotte at the ACC headquarters. I just thought that was something worthy of note, because there is a really good chance that the Heels and the Seminoles play in the ACC championship game in football. So I don't know why in the world they thought it was a wise idea to schedule that game on the same day. Secondly, as far as the basketball schedule is concerned, the Heels open up with 3 away games to start 2024 in conference play. I can't remember exactly who they are off the top of my head, but I want to say NC State is one of them. So they have to go to Raleigh. They got to play the Wolfsack in Raleigh. I think one of them is Clemson, and I think one is Pitt. Which are all 3 going to be decent basketball teams. So, that's kind of a tough little stretch to open up 2024. And Carolina, already in their non-conference slate, is not shying away from anybody. They're playing the defending national champion UConn Huskies. They play Kentucky, Oklahoma, Tennessee in the ACC SEC Challenge. I mean, they're gonna have their work cut out for them, and that's largely gonna be a new team. RJ Davis is coming back. Obviously, Armando Bacot's coming back. Really excited to see those guys work. But then you got, Harrison Ingram, Okonkwo. You got a whole bunch of Wojcik, Paxton Wojcik. Good night. I'm having a brain fart here. What's the dude's name from Notre Dame? It'll come to me in a second, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. So they're going to be working all these new guys in, and you still have Elliot Cadeau, Zayden High, Seth Trimble. Whether he can crack the guard rotation or not, he's probably the best on-the-ball defender. They're going to be working through a lot of those things in that non-conference slate. So that's going to be really interesting to see how quickly these guys can gel, and because it's going to be a tough non-conference slate. So those are just a couple of things that I happened to notice when the ACC released their ACC schedule. But like I said, we got all the time in the world to talk about the basketball team. So now that I've got that little segue in there to basketball, let's jump right back to football real quick, and we'll talk about the bye week. So Syracuse is going to be playing Clemson, and I feel bad for Syracuse, because if you think for 1 second that Dabo Swinney is going to allow his team to go 0-3 in the ACC and fall back below 500, I think you got another thing coming. The Tigers are about to be pissed off, and what a time to host Clemson at your place. I mean, I don't envy the Qs at all. Garrett Schrader is a really good quarterback. He's kind of streaky, but when that guy gets on, he can keep you in a stinking football game, and it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to that Clemson defense. But he's gonna. I mean, that's like a pack of bees, man. I don't know if they're called a pack of bees or not, but after you knock down the stinking beehive, dude, they're gonna be pissed off, and they're gonna be swarming, and that's gonna be a tough slate for the Syracuse Orange. Now, there's a part of me that I would like for Syracuse to win, because that just bolsters Carolina's game when they play them the following week. I just don't see that happening. I don't know if Garrett Schrader can shoulder that load all by himself against the Clemson Tigers. I don't think that that's really a realistic view of that game. And a lot of people are down on Clemson. I think that Clemson arguably, and this is going to sound crazy, I mean, they're 2-2, 0-2 in the ACC, but Clemson could still technically be the second or third best team in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Even at 2-2, 0-2 in the ACC, they could be. I would say it's not unreasonable to think at all that they are a top 5 ACC team still. And that's even weird sounding when we're talking about the Clemson Tigers. But they're going to go up there pissed off, and we'll see if Syracuse can stay with them. That'll be an interesting football game. I'm looking forward to watching that football game, because obviously the Heels play both of them. Now, going into this bye week, definitely one of the things that we need to have fixed is we got some special teams woes. We allowed a stinking kick return for a touchdown against Pitt. We also let a punt get blocked, which could have been disastrous. Unfortunately, our defense has been absolutely incredible. I think they've allowed 2 field goals on 6 sudden change opportunities. So, that could have been really, really bad. But we cannot be having punts blocked and kicks returned for touchdowns when the defense is playing, as serviceable or as well as technically it's been playing. We have got to get that stuff cleaned up over this bye week. I don't know if it's personnel changes. I don't know if it's an attitude adjustment. I don't know. But we cannot be letting those things happen moving forward. All right. We're allowed to return punts for touchdowns. That's acceptable. We can deal with that. What we can't allow is for other teams to make big special teams plays that keep them in the football game. So I want to see that get cleaned up by the Heels in the bye week. Now, I hate bye weeks. As a fan, I absolutely despise them. Obviously, they're good, and this is probably a good time for the Heels to have a bye week. And one of those reasons is because, they've been hurled on the offensive line, and that's impacted the rushing game. I think that, the absence of Willie Lampkin has definitely played a pivotal role in Carolina's inability to run the football the way that they want to. So we do need some guys to get healthy in or on the offensive line. So this is a good time for the bye, but as a football fan, I don't like it. I hate it. I even hate the idea that there's a couple of teams playing that, they're playing a game and they might go 5-0 and we're still at 4-0. That sounds a little petty. I understand that, but it's just, I like being 4-0. I want to be 5-0 and 6-0 and 7-0 and 8-0, and I'm not a big fan of a bye week, but I understand obviously that it's a necessity, and it's at a good time. First 4 games, non-conference slate is basically done. Obviously, Campbell is basically another off day. I'm sure that the starters will play for maybe a quarter, 2 quarters, get some young guys in there, and that'll set us up for that stretch run. Duke, at Clemson, at NC State. So the schedule lines up really, 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 really good. I mean, we could not have asked, even with Clemson and State at the back end, we could not have asked for a better schedule setup. So, I'm sure Mac had something to do with that, the AD. I'm sure all those guys played a role in it setting up the way that it did, but I like the way this schedule sets up. 4-0, we've handled business thus far, and then we get a winnable game against Syracuse, and then we get a really good, tough matchup against Miami in Chapel Hill after that. And Miami's playing better football, and it could prove to be a really tough ball game. A good win, especially if we can get that done, but after that, we play Georgia Tech, got Campbell, and then that stretch run, man. So I really like the way that this schedule sets up for the Heels. So, we've talked about not getting ahead of ourselves as far as, basketball season, now I don't have to worry about the football team anymore. No, absolutely not, Tar Heel Nation. All right, this is kind of where we kind of get that bad name, from other fan bases. If we want the football team to be good, if we want football and basketball to be good, then when it comes October, November, you got to turn into a cockeyed, silly-eyed, hey, I'm going hard for both teams, man. That's how we got to be. And keep the perspective, keep it where it needs to be. They both need our admiration and love and attention for them to be healthy and stable. That's what they need. So we still got to go to the football games, and we still got to go to the basketball games, and we need to give them equal love until football season's over, and then those eyes can come back together and we can focus solely on basketball. But right now, I need all of you to be cockeyed. Maybe that's something I should title it. The Cockeyed Tar Heels or something. I don't know. Maybe that sounds stupid. I don't even know how it would look. If I put it, it would look ridiculous probably. But I don't know. Just, give them both your love, man. That's all I'm saying. Don't let the football team fall by the wayside, because it's basketball season. I cannot stress that enough. It drives me bonkers. It drives me bonkers. Maybe it's just because I love football. And obviously I love Carolina basketball. But I love them both. And I want to go hard for both of them because they both represent North Carolina and our great state. So let's go hard for both of them. They both deserve it. So, like I said, man, just give them both your love, dude. I hate that it's the bye week, man. I really do. I'm trying to think about what game that we might be able to watch. Unfortunately, I think Syracuse-Clemson, if I'm not mistaken, is at noon. So, unfortunately, I'll be at work. I won't be able to watch that with you guys. But, you know, maybe there'll be another big football game. We're going to watch Duke-Notre Dame. Good night. You know, watch Duke just getting mauled, which I think that they are going to be mauled, because once again, we're talking about a pissed-off Notre Dame team that they could have beat Ohio State. You know, they could have beat Ohio State. I mean, that game could have went either way as well. So, you know, it'll be interesting. I hope they stink and smash Duke. I really do. And you know, obviously that's just the Tar Heel in me. I hope that they absolutely smoke the Duke Blue Devils on national television with the nation watching. Why in the world they decided to do Cause game day there is just, it's stupid. But that's where it's going to be. So, you know, at least the nation will get to see him get smoked. That'll be good. But yeah, man. That's kind of where we're at, dude. If you guys got any ideas of what game you want to watch, or, you know, any big college football topics that I'm not covering or anything like that, or you want to see me do a video on, or you want my stinking 2 cents about, hey, let me know down in the comment section, man, and I will try my best to get to it. It's the bye week, bro. Hate it. Especially when you got all that kind of all that momentum. You're 4-0, bro. It's almost one of those things where you're scared to stop playing football. I don't want these boys to get, you know, I don't want that momentum to go down. You know, so that's always my fear in the bye week. But it is what it is, man. So the main thing that I want you guys to take from this episode of Russ's Rant, I'm gonna drive it home real quick for the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th time in this stinking video. Hey, it's still football season in the Carolinas. And when the time comes, just turn into a stinking cockeyed Tar Heel. Give both of these guys your love. Okay, let's focus on both of them 100%. I know that that's not mathematically possible, but you get what I'm saying, because they both deserve the attention. I'm excited about what the football team's going to do after the bye week. I'm excited about what this basically revamped basketball team is going to do this season. But let's not forget what season it is, baby. It is still football season in the Tar Heel State. Like, share, subscribe, comment down in the comment section what you think about this video. Like I said, anything that I haven't discussed that you want to hear me discuss, y'all be easy, Tar Heel Nation. We will catch you on the next one. Love you guys. I'm out.